Limited time offers create a sense of urgency that can boost sales by up to 332%. So over 3 times the results when they implemented the urgency and scarcity tactics.
What actions can we take now to improve our conversion rate on our Shopify store? So let's start with the low-hanging fruit. So this is probably for new store owners, fairly new e-commerce store owners. What can they target first? What simple tweaks can they make to improve their conversion rate quickly?
Well, one of the things that filters through from the marketing right through to the experience on the store is consistent branding. Right, so if you imagine that we're running retargeting ads a lot of the time to customers who have visited our store but maybe not made a purchase, if we can be showing our logo in a very recognizable form with ads with a consistent color scheme, then people see that again and again and they start to associate that with the industry and with making that purchase. They see it on their Facebook feed, on their Google display network on the side of newspaper websites or whatever they're reading, or even on their Instagram feed. They'll see our ads. So by the time they come back to our site, they feel like they're in the right place. Now, there are brands that do this fantastically well. So imagine if you are in a John Lewis department store, right? And you go into the kind of the garden home section and you've got like the barbecue there, the pizza oven, you've got a patio heater, there's the lawnmowers, they're all kind of like garden related outdoorsy things next to each other. You don't walk in and see a garden table next to something completely random like a set of hand towels, and then there's a MacBook on the next stand, and then football boot section. Like they have those sections. The football boots are in the sports section, the MacBooks are in the AV section. They very clearly try to make each part of the store feel consistent with the theme of the products that they're selling. Sometimes they have like AstroTurf on the floor in the garden section to make it feel like it's like grass, outdoorsy, right? So that's key. You want to make your customers feel like they're in the right place when they land there. But often entrepreneurs starting e-commerce sites get shiny object syndrome, where they sign a new supplier who sells something completely different to what their store is focused on, and then they just kind of flood their site with all of these random products. So you end up with the football boots next to the pizza ovens, and it's just a bit of a strange experience for customers. So you kind of want to make sure that customers feel like they're in the right place. And in terms of that branding and that consistency, I mean, imagine if you're walking down the high street and you want a coffee and you look up, you see that little green circular symbol with the white mermaid in it. We all know it's the Starbucks logo, right? And you can spot that a mile off without even seeing the word Starbucks. Same with the golden arches. You see the golden arches, we all know what brand that represents, right? That yellow arches. So these brands are masters at this, in getting people to associate the colors, the symbols with their brand, so that they feel, there's a sense of like, I know, like, and trust this brand. I'm going to go in and purchase something from them. So if you can tap into that psychological principle as well and ensure that when customers reach your store, they've already seen you on social media through retargeting ads, it's all consistent with the branding and the color scheme on your websites, it can really help from a customer trust perspective.
And Shopify makes that very simple for us to choose the colors that we want for our brand, and we can enter the logo into Shopify and it will show on every page of your website. So very quickly with Shopify, these are the basics to get right, is to have your consistent colors for your brand, so people feel like they know you're very clearly professional, and you can get that set up from the very start.
Yeah, exactly. There are some real tactical things we can do though to actually improve the conversion rate, such as you could have a compelling banner or header bar, whatever you want to call it, on your site with your unique selling points. So what are the reasons that customers should purchase from you? Why should they stay on your site and purchase rather than go and buy the same product from a competitor's site, for example? So some things that you can include in there might be like a coupon code that gives them a certain discount if they buy a certain product or over a threshold price point of products, like free delivery on orders over £500, for example. Can you offer free delivery site-wide on all purchases? Can you offer some kind of free gift with your orders? Like if they buy the item, can you give them a free ebook or buyer's guide that's related to the type of industry that they're buying the products in? Can you give them a free accessory with the items? If so, highlight this, make it clear, make it visual so that people have a reason to stay there and purchase from you. Make it a differentiator. What does your brand stand for? Is there a story that you can tell, a truthful, factual story, but can you kind of explain and tell that story in a very personal manner that explains like why you why they should purchase for you. And some companies will say that for every purchase that you make, we plant a tree, or for every purchase that you make, we donate a certain amount to charity. Like, these are reasons why customers, they're not the only reason sometimes why a customer will buy from your brand, but they definitely have a cumulative effect. If you can stack them up, then it's just giving them more ammunition and reasons to say, I'm going with this company because I like them. Sometimes people put sliders images on their homepage. Again, something I would test. We've seen that slider images where you have like one big image on the homepage and then it slides to another one and then another one, whilst they might visually look nice, they're actually quite low converting and they hinder the conversion rate of a lot of stores. Again, it will be an individual case-by-case basis, but we found when we tried it that it slowed down our stores and that 9 out of 10 customers never made it past slide 1 anyway. So it was like, what was the point in having all of that extra image file size having to load every time someone loads our website if they're never even going to see it? So that's that. I think on the product page itself, having high quality images is vital. They make a huge difference to the perceived value of your products and to customers' trust. If you can provide images from all different angles, even videos are amazing. If you can get videos from your suppliers or even go and see your suppliers, see the products yourself, take videos. They don't have to be really professional or high production quality. They can just be walk-through videos. But remember, with e-commerce, a customer's not able to come to your store and see the products. So try and show them the products in a way that they can visualize them, get a look and feel for them, and make that buying decision right there on your website.
And through working with high quality suppliers that we sign using the Home Turf Advantage model, they'll be able to provide some really high quality images for you that you can put directly onto your website. And for a customer to see a high quality image, that's going to have a lot of trust associated with that straight away, instead of having like blurry product images that you might have seen before. And that straight away just erodes any trust that you can build with a customer. So once you've got the basics in place, so we've got a banner, we've called out some USPs, we've got some high quality images, and we've got consistent branding across our whole website. What's next? How can we take it to the next level and start to improve our conversion rate beyond the basics?
Yeah, sure. So this is, again, assuming that you're getting the right traffic coming through from high converting ads. We prefer the highest converting traffic source that we see coming through is Google Shopping ads, or often through the Performance Max campaigns now, but through the Google Shopping network. The reason for that is because the images are there and they see the products. They know it's a commercial ad because they can see the price. So it kind of self-disqualifies the click from people who maybe couldn't afford the item. So they click it, they come to the store, they know that they're there to buy something, or they're very serious about buying it. So that's why that traffic source is great. That will have the biggest impact initially on conversion rate. But once they're there, if we're discussing after the click now, as we talked about, then one of the other things is page load speed. We discussed this briefly with the sliders, but just making sure that your load speed is fast, especially on mobile, because a lot of your traffic will be on mobile. Probably the majority of your traffic will remain on mobile moving forwards. And people just don't have the patience to wait for pages to load. And if they do, if they are taking a long time to load, they'll just bounce and go to the next competitor site and buy it from there. So I think that you can do certain optimizations yourself, but also sometimes with the more complex page load speed optimization, you might want to look into hiring a developer from a site like Upwork, or hiring a Shopify expert to help with that if you have your site built on Shopify. And there are tools that you can use to assess your page load speed, like GT Metrics or Google Page Speed Insights, that will guide you through the specific things that you or your developer would need to do to optimize that page load speed. So that's a really big one, and that will help with your SEO ranking as well as your conversion rate. The other thing, and I know this from running these types of stores, is the most common question that you will likely get from customers who are thinking of buying, or prospective customers in that sense, is delivery information, both delivery cost, delivery speed, which courier you use. So what can you do to avoid this from becoming a bottleneck to people purchasing? Provide the information on your site. Make it very clear, the delivery, the handling time frame, and then the delivery time frame. Maybe it depends on where they live, but try and make it as clear as you possibly can. And every time you get a question from a customer about this, think, is there a way that I could answer that question on the product page so that everybody else who potentially has that question in the future has it answered and then would just purchase without needing to ask it? So this is the kind of systems thinking approach you have to take with this, because yes, you can answer that question, but why answer it on a for every one person that asks the question, there's probably 100 that didn't ask the question and just went to a different site, right? So try and answer it on that site if you can. Be as transparent as possible, because people hate hidden charges. So try and just be very, very clear on what those costs are for delivery from the outset.
Look at your website with a customer's eye. So have their point of view in mind. If you can't see something that you'd be looking for, like the delivery information, then that's a sign for you to make sure it's absolutely clear, to stop people bouncing, to stop people leaving your website. Make everything very clear for a customer. Ties into the principles we were talking about earlier. Make it as simple as possible and as clear as possible for customers, so they go straight through to their add to cart, go to checkout and complete their purchase as quickly as possible.